What is going on, guys? Today is April 2nd, 2022. We are clear of anybody's stupid April Fool's jokes. I think that's dumb holidays. Is it a holiday or is it just something that we do? But either way, it's pretty stupid to have one day out of the year where, I don't trust anything on April Fool's Day because people are childish and it's stupid. That's all I have to say about that. But how's everybody doing today? Final Fours today, we'll talk about that. But the big news, of course, happened last Sunday at the Oscars. I'm sure everybody's aware that Will Smith got up on stage and smacked Chris Rock in the face. Everybody knows. Everybody who's not living under a rock knows that. But to set the scene for everybody who doesn't know what happened, Will Smith was definitely wrong for what he did. So the blame, Will Smith is wrong for what he did, but let me explain my theory. Not theory, so Chris Rock was upstage, hosting. I don't know if he was a host or he was just up there presenting the award for I think it was Best Documentary. But yeah, he was joking. First of all, he's a comedian, and Will Smith and Jada Smith were sitting in the front row. So when you go to a comedy show and you sit in the front row, you are a target for getting roasted in jokes. And earlier on in the night, there was a joke about Will Smith. Actually, I'll get that thing. Let me start. Okay, so we have to remember, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe a couple years ago, 2 years ago, but at the Red Table Talk, when she basically just embarrassed Will Smith and he just had to sit there and listen to it. So Jada, I think that's a toxic ass relationship in my opinion, but who knows what goes on behind closed doors, but yeah, she basically embarrassed him on TV. He had to sit there and listen to it. She told him about how she cheated on him and all this stuff, and basically just embarrassed him, really. And so fast forward to the red carpet before the Oscars, Jada Smith has alopecia, which is a condition where you're losing hair. But on the red carpet before the Oscars, she was on camera saying that jokes about her alopecia doesn't bother her, which is pretty funny because she seemed to be bothered about it at the Oscars. And Will Smith got up and did something. And so earlier on in the night, there was a joke about Will Smith and her relationship, being an open relationship. She found that really funny. But the second that Chris Rock says something like G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it, and points at her because she has alopecia. First of all, you can't laugh at other jokes about other people, but get mad when someone jokes about you. So people are really sensitive these days, and Will Smith, like I was saying, Will Smith was definitely wrong for going up there and slapping him. He should have just did it. But Will Smith is the most publicly cucked probably ever. Being in that limelight, Will Smith, huge actor, and publicly, all this stuff was said publicly, and now we all know their relationship. So Will Smith was put in kind of an awkward situation because, first of all, and Will Smith laughed at the joke before he even did anything, so he's kind of a hypocrite for that. But I feel like the only reason Will Smith did something was because she didn't look happy about it. Obviously, the only reason he did something, in my opinion, is because they do have an open relationship, and if he didn't do anything, there would be this narrative about him, he doesn't love her and all that shit. But he did do something, and now that narrative's gone in. Jada, I just think she escalated the situation because of the way, because Chris Rock, when he joked about it, this is actually, I don't even know why this is such a big topic, because it's really stupid. That I think she escalated the situation because of the way she rolled her eyes and like looked. She wasn't. She didn't find a funny joke, but everybody in the wherever the Oscar was, the arena, everybody in there laughed, including Will Smith. She was the only one that had a problem with it. It seemed like, but before that, she said she doesn't mind if people joke about it. It doesn't bother her. So this is probably an insensitive comment, but if you're really sensitive about it, like people making jokes, wear your damn wig. Like, don't go out in public everywhere, not just the Oscars, everywhere, bald headed, and nobody's gonna say anything about it because the facts are like a bald headed woman is gonna stick out, like because like I'm not trying to sound rude, but if you're a bald headed woman, that's going to stick out and people are going to notice that. And how do you like Chris Rock when he made the joke? Like, how do you even know that he knew she had alopecia? Like, everybody's just assuming that he knew. But there was another situation where, like a couple years ago, I think it was actually more than a couple years ago. I think it was in 2016 where Chris Rock made a comment about it, like about it before, and Will Smith let it slide, and this time, he didn't. But I still feel like that the situation that she put Will Smith in, like to do something, and if she didn't, she was probably going to leave with someone else, and he was probably going to have to watch her get fucking railed and some shit. But yeah, Will Smith. I don't know what's gonna happen to him now. He the same night he won the Oscar for the best actor. That movie King Richard, Serena and Venus. I watched it a little bit, but I haven't finished it. So I try to watch like the movies in the Oscars. I try to watch all the award-winning movies or whatever you want to call it. I try to watch those because they won an Oscar, so it might be good. Will Smith, I do like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I like I Am Legend, RoboCop. That's pretty much the only stuff I know Will Smith in, which is sad to say. He's not my era, which is also sad to say. But he's a good actor, obviously, because he won the Best Actor. But I still think, like, some people are saying it is fake. Like when it first happened, the day it happened, when I saw it at night, I thought it was fake. I did think it was fake. But like as this stuff like rolled out through the week, then it changed my opinion. But yeah, Will Smith was definitely in the wrong for that. And when he walked away, you could like the whole audience gave him like a standing ovation, which is Hollywood is corrupt and like woke culture. Like if you want to talk about Hollywood, like the wokest people in Hollywood, you gotta talk about Jim Carrey, you gotta talk about Dave Chappelle, and you have to talk about Chris Rock. They expose some of the stuff that happens on in Hollywood. So like they like I don't know. We don't have to talk about it today. But as I was doing my research, I came across like some more celebrity feuds, and I just wanna like say a couple of them that I found interesting. First, Kanye West and Taylor Swift in 2009 at the MTV Awards. Kanye went on stage and said that Beyonce was robbed, and which probably was because Beyonce is way better than Taylor Swift. I don't even know what she got the award for. I just know that Kanye West went up there. Kanye West is also a psycho. But in 2010, Taylor Swift didn't like that because Kanye he made an album in 2010, and Taylor Swift didn't like that he referred to her as a bitch in his track Famous. So they had beef, and Kim Kardashian, who was with Kanye at the time, basically said that Kanye and Taylor Swift had a phone call and they talked about it. Taylor Swift says another thing. So like that would have been crazy. But I wonder, like in 2009, if it's not the same situation, but like in 2009, if there was so much talk about like how Kanye went upstage to get Taylor Swift as there is like now when Will Smith and Chris Rock. Not the same quite the same situation, but still. Another one, Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. In the early 2000s, they were on a reality uh, TV show called Simple Life. By 2005, they weren't friends anymore though. They uh, went to a bunch of parties and stuff. They weren't friends when she comes. They grew apart, but whoa, what did I just say? They went to a party and Nicole, Paris Hilton says Nicole Richie um, basically showed her sex tape at the party to everybody, and that's why they're not friends anymore. Which I haven't seen the sex tape, but you know, for you guys, you can give it a look. You know, let me know how it is. But yeah, that one is a little. I would understand being mad about that, like someone leaking your sex tape to a whole party and everybody seen it. I would be mad. We would have to fight. I don't got no sex tapes because I don't want that to happen to me. Another one is 50 Cent. This one is my favorite one. 50 Cent versus Floyd Mayweather. When 50 Cent, first of all, let's restart. 50 Cent, basically, his career was made out of like beefs with Ja Rule. That's how he got that's what boosted his career, I should say. His beef with Ja Rule helped start his career early in the 2000s. 50 Cent also, when Mayweather, when he escorted Mayweather to his fight against Oscar De La Hoya, 50 Cent escorted him to his fight. And then when Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao a couple years ago, I was in middle school, I remember that, because we were making bets on it in the back of the classroom. Also, another quick story, I don't know why they just popped in my head, but bad hair day at school. I had a bad hair day at school one time. My mom tried to spike my hair and like give me spiky hair, you know, but I had too much hair, so my hair was just like straight up like, what's his name, Pauly D from Jersey Shore. Is that his name? Pauly D from Jersey Shore. And then like all day at school I had to be like, I'm having a bad hair day. I tried to comb my hair, but it would just stay up, so I put gel in it. That's what I had to say. But as soon as I got home, I took a shower, and all that gel came out of my hair, and it was pretty sexy. Back to what I was saying. When Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao, 50 Cent joined Manny Pacquiao and started talking shit to Floyd Mayweather. Started talking about how he couldn't read and shit, and Mayweather ended up winning that fight against Manny Pacquiao. Which Manny Pacquiao, I kind of wanted Manny Pacquiao to win that fight because Manny Pacquiao is Filipino. I'm Filipino. Represent. And Floyd Mayweather, like, I mean, I don't really have an opinion about him, but he's just really like cocky, and I guess you can be that way if you're undefeated and you're hella rich. So, but the last one I found, Katy Perry versus a Catholic church. So, several years ago, she tried to buy an LA estate from a local branch of the Catholic Church, and it used to be a house like a convent house for nuns that worked in the church, and the nuns originally purchased in 1972, and they got kicked out in 2011 because the archdiocese wanted to sell, which I guess is who runs the church, and they kicked them out in 2011 because they wanted to sell to Katy Perry, but the nuns were arguing that they believe they still own it and refused to sell it to Katy Perry. In the end, I don't think Katy Perry got the church, so that was really all for nothing. It was just another thing that I added to the list so we want to be better, you know. But yeah, Katy Perry trying to buy a church. I don't know if she has a church now or what, if she just gave up on it because she didn't get it. So, yeah. Moving on now to the final four. The final four is today, like I mentioned, and between the first game, KU versus Villanova. Villanova won the last out of the last five. Villanova won four out of the last five versus KU. And in 2018, when KU and Villanova faced off in the final four, Villanova won that game by a good amount. I think it was like 90. I don't want to get the score wrong, so I don't want to botch it. But Kansas, of course, is the number one seed in the Midwest. They beat Texas Southern, Creighton, Providence, and Miami. Miami, of course, the Elite Eight game. KU really turned up the heat in the second half. That's if KU can play that way today with a short-handed Villanova team, and Villanova is I don't want to say slow starting team, but short-handed. Going up against Kansas, Ochai Agbaji, one of the candidates for National Player of the Year. Remy Martin's really come on strong in the tournament. Of course, still got Christian Braun who can knock down threes. So I think it's going to be a good game. Although KU didn't, you could argue that KU didn't have the strongest bracket against Texas Southern, and Creighton, but that's what happens when you're the number one seed. You get the lower seeds. That's the advantage of being number one seed. So we'll have to see today. Villanova's a 2 seed too, so it's not like Villanova, number 2 seed in the South, beat Delaware, Ohio State, Michigan, and Houston, which is a tougher schedule. Ohio State, Michigan, two Big 12 teams. Houston, I thought Houston was going to be in the final four, but they lost to Villanova, obviously, like I just read. And also the St. Peter's coach, he's a new coach at Seton Hall now, so that's good for him. But I don't think it's going to work out. Hopefully it works out for him. No, and that opens the door for more smaller school coaches who do good in the tournament, getting a coaching opportunity at a bigger school. And Seton Hall is not the biggest school, but it's bigger than St. Peter's, I would assume. So yeah, but I'm taking Kansas in this game because of the fact that I said Remy Martin has really come on strong. Ochai Agbaji, well, sorry, dude. National Player of the Year candidate. Christian Braun, he can knock down threes. Jalen Wilson, he can knock down threes. And Villanova, if they get off to a slow start, short-handed, like I said, it's going to be hard to come back, especially KU plays the way they did second half against Miami. The defense, at least, the second half against Miami, if they play that defense the whole game against Villanova, I think KU's got it and it's going to go to a national championship. So we'll see how that unfolds today. That's the first game. The second game, of course, is Duke versus North Carolina, and the marquee matchup of the weekend. I feel like this Duke, like Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K. This is his last year. They played North Carolina on Duke's senior night, which was Coach K's last game at Cameron Indoor Stadium. North Carolina came out with the victory. And then they had like a whole fucking dick sucking fest for Coach K, circle jerk. But they lost the game, so that was kind of awkward to like sitting there after they lost it. He told everybody to shut up and said it was inexcusable. That was kind of funny, actually. But the best way for Coach K's season or his career to be over is to lose. I would like him to lose. I hate Duke. I don't hate Duke, but I just don't like them because of Coach K. I don't like Coach K. Coach K has coached the Olympic team 3 times, and like every time a coach coaches the Olympic team, they only coach it 1 time. Actually, I'm gonna get up. Coach K Olympic. What's his record in the Olympics? Actually, he's 24-0 at the Olympics, which is not hard to imagine because the USA has the best basketball players in the world, and they always win. But he first started coaching the Olympics in 1992, which the Dream Team. Well, he was an assistant coach for the Dream Team in Barcelona in 1992. But then he became a coach the next Olympics. But he's coached the Olympic team 3 times, and every other coach only coached it 1 time. So I think that's pretty selfish of him. No, I'm just playing. I just have to find some reason to talk badly about Coach Kidd because really, like, Coach, he's a great coach. Honestly, great coach. And this matchup would be more like this matchup's going to be good. It's going to be a good matchup because, like I said, Coach K's last season lost to North Carolina on his senior night, last game at Cameron Indoor Stadium. So and this is the first time North Carolina and Duke has met in the Final Four, which is crazy. But it'll be fitting if North Carolina knocks them off again. And also, I could see how it could be fitting if Duke just goes win the national championship. But I would think that it's rigged. If that happened, like it would be an awfully coincidence that Coach K in his very last season won the national championship. And that Duke team is good. Paolo Banchero is going to be probably a top 3 pick in the NBA draft next year. But I just think like Duke, the way they played like the game on the senior night, I just think there was so much pressure for the players for Duke to not lose the game. There was so much pressure to not lose the game because it was Coach K's last game at Cameron Indoor. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure again on Duke to not lose the game because if they do, Coach K's career will be over, allegedly, if he doesn't come back. I don't think he will, though. Coach K's not going to come back. He's old and he has health problems. But I just feel like with Brady Manick coming back, he was Brady Manick for North Carolina. Let's see, because I don't want to get this wrong. Brady, what's his stats? Because I like his name and his beard. Like, if you need, like, Brady Manick, just cool guy. But anyways, I think the winner of this game is going to be average 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 50% from the field. But at the end of the day, I think I do not have my thoughts organized in my head. But at the end, I think North Carolina is going to be the winner of the game, and then Coach K is going to have I don't know if he's going to have a press conference right after the game if he loses. I know he's going to have a press conference probably at some point, even if he does win the national championship, still going to have a press conference, obviously, saying because he's retiring, final goodbye. But I think there's going to be so much pressure on Duke to not lose the game, and I could be wrong. And it's hard to beat the same team twice in 1 year, especially a Duke team because they're well coached. On all four of these teams are well coached. Villanova with Jay Wright, Bill Self with KU. Those two have won championships, so they have championship experience. So that they don't really have KU Villanova. They don't really have an advantage in the coaching department. I think KU has an advantage in the players. Duke has an advantage in the coaching department over UNC, obviously. But if Roy Williams was still the coach, this game would be huge because Roy Williams, Coach K. But now it's the coach for UNC is Hubert Davis. So Duke obviously has the advantage in that. But Hubert Davis is showing that he's a good coach, obviously in the Final Four. But yeah, so moving on, I'm going to talk about some NFL because really that's my expertise, you know. Overtime rules changed only for the playoffs though, which is kind of dumb in my opinion, because you can still have overtime games in the NFL like that have playoff implications, and one team gets the ball. And really, this originates from when the Falcons and the Patriots were playing the Super Bowl and obviously went to overtime. Patriots got the ball and they scored first and the game was over. If Matt Ryan got that ball, maybe it would be a different story. But we'll never find out. That's the thing about it. We'll never find out. Obviously, the big game last year between the Bills and the Chiefs, that was the game that really changed it. Because of course, Patrick Mahomes got the ball first in overtime, and then they scored. Josh Allen never got the ball. But that was a really good game. I'm gonna have to watch it even later because it was just good. Bruce Arians stepped down as head coach of the Buccaneers. First of all, I don't think he just handed over the coaching job to Todd Bowles just because. I think Tom Brady pushed him out because Tom Brady retired. If you read into the tea leaves, Tom Brady retired. Bruce Arians then said that he's trying to rebuild the team and stuff. And then Tom Brady comes back, and then coincidentally enough, Bruce Arians is gone. So I feel like Tom Brady was, as much as Bruce Arians want to say like it was his dream to hand off a coaching gig to one of his coaches. So like, and the Buccaneers players, most of the team is on 1-year contract too. So even if Todd Bowles coaches his team well, it's gonna be a whole new team, and then next year, and probably gonna suck after that. And Tom Brady might retire again after that. After this season, might retire again. Oh, and I don't want to say this is not Todd Bowles' team because he was on the staff, but like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't really want to say that it's not his team because it is his team because he was the defensive coordinator. Byron Leftwich still offensive coordinator calling the plays. Now Todd Bowles the head coach. Bruce Arians moved into the front office stuff, so he's still around. I don't really quite know what his role is, like his role, like what he does. I think he's an advisor. I don't know what that means. Just tells him what to do. But I think Bruce Arians said in February he said he wanted to retire, but he was at the combine, and then when he was at the combine he was saying how they're trying to rebuild the team, and one of the reasons why he handed the team to Todd Bowles was because Tom Brady came back. That was the main reason that he said he's stepping away, because Tom came back. Now the team is going to theoretically be good next year. But you have the Rams who just signed Bobby Wagner. I've heard some people say Bobby Wagner is losing his athleticism. He's only 31. He's going to be 32 in June or July, I think. But his contract, 5 years, $50 million with the Rams. Obviously, it's good replacement for Von Miller, although they don't play necessarily the same position. They're both in the linebacker corps, but they're not both middle linebackers. Their middle linebacker last year was Troy Reader, who Bobby Wagner is an upgrade over him. No disrespect, but it's 5 year, $50 million contract, $50 million a year. Oh, not a year, that would be crazy. $50 million. $5. 5 year, $50 million contract. Probably not going to see the end of the contract. Probably going to be there maybe 2-3 years. I guess 2 years, and then he gets either cut or traded. But yeah, that's a big upgrade for them. Their defense last year was good enough. like if you think about like the best defenses of the past, like the Ravens defense, of course, their defensive line, and then in the with Haloti Ngata, and then their middle linebacker, of course, Ray Lewis, and then they had Ed Reed in the back. So they had a guy at every level of their defense. Steelers, Troy Polamalu in the backfield, James Harrison, and then their defensive line is like the Rams are going to, and everybody knows the Rams offense. Everybody knows the Rams offense is going to do, but yeah, the Rams might be better next year, or better. I mean, like they're looking like they're going to be just as good as they were last year, this year. If that makes any sense. They haven't signed Odell Beckham Jr. back, but they did bring in Allen Robinson to pair with Cooper Kupp. They don't have Robert Woods anymore. So the Rams in the NFC, the top team, the AFC is loaded with teams, and the NFC is like you got the top 5 teams in the NFC. Probably the Rams gotta be number 1 because they were Super Bowl champions. 2, gotta put the Bucks there, even though like Tom's. I think the Bucks will be fine. 3, gotta go Packers, even though they lost their receiver, 2 of their receivers, MBS and Devontae Adams, and they haven't done anything to replace them yet. So I'm still gonna put them at 3 though, because I do believe they're gonna do something in the draft or in free agency later on in the year to address that. But they haven't done anything yet, so we'll see how that goes. 4, gotta go probably the 49. Nah, because they don't even know who their quarterback is yet. So probably I'll just go 3 teams. Those are the 3 teams. NFC's not tough, but it's like hard to it's hard to like power rank them over the AFC, because the AFC has so many teams that you could do that to. NFC. I'm about to do this real quick. We got okay. So number 1, I said the Rams. Number 2, I said the Bucks. Number 3, I said the Packers. So number 4, let's go. Number 4. Shit. What is number 4? Number 4, probably the Cowboys. Yeah. Packers and Cowboys, which Cowboys always have a lot of hype going into this season. But I feel like no, we flip them around with Cardinals. Even though the Cardinals they disappointed in the playoffs. They didn't have DeAndre Hopkins for most of the year. I feel like once they get him back, they'll be better. Kyler Murray. I don't know what's going on with him, his contract situation for right now. But I think the Cardinals are 4, and then the Cowboys. We can talk about NFL draft, like the first pick for the Jags, 2nd year in a row. Probably going to pick Aiden Hutchinson, but they should probably get an offensive lineman like Evan Neal or Ike Ekonwu. They need an offensive line to protect Trevor Lawrence, who they drafted the year before with the number 1 pick. And they tagged franchise tagged Cam Robinson. They brought in Brandon Sheriff. So the offensive line, they just, with Doug Peterson as a new coach, that's a major upgrade between Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer had no idea what he was doing as an NFL coach. So now you get an actual professional in there to help Trevor Lawrence in this Jags offense. But I think the move the Jaguars should do is to draft Aiden Hutchinson, because you have Josh Allen on the other side of him if you draft him, so that'll be pretty good. Travon Walker. I think the Lions, they need to draft a quarterback. Like probably Malik Willis, if I had to guess, because he has out of Liberty, most pro-ready quarterback from high-level NFL scouts. But the Lions don't take Malik Willis. I can see the Texans taking him at number 3. And if the Lions don't take Malik Willis at number 2, they probably want to take Travon Walker. I still think they should take Malik Willis, but if they don't, then the Texans will take him. Number 4, we got the Jets, who I think the Jets, they need to get some help on the offensive line for Zach Wilson. So I think they're going to, if Evan Neal's on the board, if Ike Ekwonu is on the board. Hold on, let me write this down. Okay, so I'm gonna do the first 5 picks because this is gonna take forever. Let's do 10. Let's do 10. Let's do 10. Oh no, wait, hold on. Wait, so I'm gonna get to draft order because I'll be doing this shit. Alright, so we're only gonna do we're gonna do the top 10 picks NFL mock right now. Number 1, we got the Jags. Oh shit. Number 1, Jags, Aiden Hutchinson, you know. And then 2, we got the Lions, probably Malik Willis. I don't know why I'm writing this down because it's not like any of you can see it. I'm just doing it. Texans, if Malik Willis is on the board, then that's who they're going with. But I believe the Lions are going to take him, so then they're going to go probably. Now that I'm thinking about it, I said Travon Walker earlier, but if Ike Ekwonu is on the board and Evan Neal, and get some help for Davy Mills. Man. I'll go. If Evan Neal is on the board, then you should take. I believe they're going to take Evan Neal. They have Laramie Tunsil. They should get Evan Neal, solidify the offensive line. Now that they finally moved on from Deshaun Watson, now the Texans can really now the Texans can go. You know, they can actually start building a team. It felt like that Deshaun Watson situation shadowed over the Texans organization for the whole time he was there. Now they finally got rid of him. They got the 3rd pick, and now they can start fresh. I think they take Evan Neal right here to help the offensive line. My pen is going dead, going dry. 4. What was number 4? Let me pull this up real quick. Oh shoot. Not Mike Tannenbaum. Daniel Jeremiah is my go-to. In the last video, I said I know do mock drafts. That was cap. Because they're kind of fun to do. I was just talking. But number 4. 4th pick is the Jets. I think they added DJ Reed and Jordan Whitehead in the secondary. But I think they should add more with trading away Jamal Adams a couple years ago to the Seahawks. They can look to replace him in the secondary with Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. Whoa! Copyright. The 5th pick, we're just gonna. Why are you doing this? Stop playing these damn videos. Okay, number 5, we got the Giants. I'm gonna just write that order right here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Giants, Panthers. Giants, Panthers, Giants again. And then the Falcons, Seahawks, Jets. But let's start on 5th where we're at. So we got Ed Hutchinson off the board, Malik Willis, Evan Neal, and Sauce Gardner. I think the Giants, with this pick, Evan Neal's off the board. Ike Ekwonu is still there. This will be the two best offensive linemen in this class. Arguably, you can argue which one is the best, Ike Ekwonu or Evan Neal. Evan Neal's off the board. You got Saquon Barkley in the backfield coming back. You got Daniel Jones. Maybe this is his last year to prove if he's the guy or not. So I would give him help. Get Ike Ekwonu. That's what I like about the draft, because you never know. Like that year that the Bears took Nick Trubisky at number 2, I didn't think that was gonna happen, but it did. Number 6, we got the Panthers, who were trying to trade. We're in the conversation to trade for Deshaun Watson, but they didn't get him. Obviously, now they're stuck with Sam Darnold. Do they draft another quarterback? Do they not draft another quarterback? Go off the lineman? I think they do draft another quarterback. Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh. I remember when the NFL draft combine, he's kind of sliding down people's boards because of his hand size, but at his pro day, his hands measured bigger somehow. So I feel like, and I don't remember who said it, but maybe it was Panthers. But somebody, well, I'm starting to get the hiccups. Somebody said you have to reach, like, I don't know if it was the Panthers front office or someone else, but they said they're going to have to reach for, if you want a quarterback, you have to reach for a quarterback. And at the number 6 spot for the Panthers, like number 2 from Malik Willis is a hella reach for a quarterback. But especially a quarterback at Liberty. Like, did anybody know about Malik Willis before the draft talk, or like? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, these players come out of nowhere. Like there's gonna be a player that was drafted in like the 4th round this year that nobody knew about, but he's gonna be a star in the NFL, because it always happens that way. And that's what's good about the draft. So you never know. Like these players that I'm listing off right now, like Aiden Hutchinson, Malik Willis, Evan Neal, Sauce Gardner, Ike Ekwonu, Kenny Pickett, like these top 6 picks, like they've been talked about, but you actually don't know like how it's gonna pan out. Like they could, like all 6 of these picks could be bust, which is very, very likely. But if they don't, then you got a franchise player. So Kenny Pickett for the Panthers, I think, is the best pick, because Malik Willis is off the board. So you either go to Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder. And Desmond Ridder will come into the situation later, because, or I'll let you know, the Giants just picked Ike Ekwonu at number 5, back on at number 7. The Giants have Azeez Ojulari, so compare him with Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State, and I think you'll have some going there. So the 7th pick, I'm gonna go Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State. And then number 8, we got the Falcons, who of course traded away Matt Ryan, so they could be in the discussion for a quarterback, but they brought in Marcus Mariota. And I'm not saying that because you have Marcus Mariota, don't draft a quarterback. I could very well see them drafting a quarterback here. That'd be 3 quarterbacks in the top 10 so far. But I think wait till next year. I've been saying that. Wait till next year, draft a quarterback in next year's class, because next year's supposed to be a better draft class for quarterbacks, I think. So wait till next year. You have Marcus Mariota. He's all right. You know, pairing him back with Arthur Smith, maybe you get something good. Maybe something happens, but and then now I think obviously the Falcons losing Calvin Ridley for the season. Obviously no Julio Jones. They have Kyle Pitts. I think adding another receiver would be good for them. So I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. I just think you could also go Chris Olave, but most people, like what I've read, Garrett Wilson is more pro ready. I hate that term pro ready because all these guys should be pro ready if they're going in the NFL draft, but that's a hot take actually. I don't mean that. I think adding Garrett Wilson is the pick here because, don't have Julio, don't have Calvin Ridley. Still got Kyle Pitts, but can't lean on him all the time. He's going to be a huge part of the offense now, second year, but you gotta take a receiver here. Draft a quarterback next year. Maybe get one in free agency. Marcus Mariota will do it. Number 9, we got the Seattle Seahawks, who I think they traded away Russell Wilson, obviously. That was the second huge, well, that was the first huge trade of the offseason from the Seahawks trading away Russell Wilson to the Broncos. The Seahawks need a lot of help in a lot of areas. Obviously, releasing Bobby Wagner. Legion of Boom is pretty much gone now. But I still think, because they traded away Russell Wilson, they got Drew Lock, so maybe Drew Lock can revitalize his career and be something, but I wouldn't depend on that. Like, maybe he doesn't, and now you're stuck, and you have a perfect opportunity right here to get a quarterback. So I think they do go with Desmond Ridder, who is kind of from Cincinnati, so 2 Cincinnati picks in the top 10, Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati and Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati. Desmond Ridder, I thought, was the number 1 quarterback, like way before the NFL draft talk, where I thought Desmond Ridder was going to be number 1 quarterback, or Sam Howell, but how things change. Now we got Malik Willis out of Liberty to be their quarterback. So 10, we got the Jets again coming back around. What pick did they have before? The Jets had the 4th pick, and they got Sauce Gardner, which I wrote down. So now, to help, you could get Charles Cross here, maybe. How about Zach Wilson? But you got Sauce Gardner in the backfield. Ike Conley's off the board. Evan Neal's off the board. Could go Charles Cross, but I think giving Zach Wilson another weapon. Elijah Moore, he's proven to be a good receiver in this league, so you can build off of that, get him another receiver. And Drake London, you could go Chris Olave here. I think Drake London quicker than Chris Olave, and I just feel like, I don't know. You can go with any receiver here, really, but I'm gonna go with Drake London because he has a cool name, but he's a good player. So let's go 15. Because I'm actually kind of finding this fun. Number 11, we got the Washington Commanders now. 12 is the Vikings. I'm just looking at the order here so I can write it down. Texans again at 13. 14, Baltimore Ravens and Eagles. 14 is Ravens. 15 is Eagles. Alright, so number 11, about Washington, who could take a quarterback here. I feel like they will take a quarterback here. This is a good position for them to take a quarterback. Malik off the board, Kenny Pickett off the board, Desmond Ridder off the board. There's 3 quarterbacks off the board, so Washington's going to be desperate here, looking for a quarterback. I think they're going to take probably Matt Corral. If everything, like, if there's no trades in the draft, I'm not doing trades because trades make it complicated. I'm just doing straight picks. Washington, I feel like it's going to get desperate for a quarterback. They have Carson Wentz, obviously. Obviously, they have Carson Wentz. So actually, scratch that. I forgot about that. I forgot they had Carson Wentz. Kyle Hamilton is out there. Jordan Davis is out there, but they have Chase Young on the offensive line. Kyle Hamilton's probably the pick here because they lost in Collins and earlier in the offseason. So Kyle Hamilton there. Vikings. I don't really know what to do with the Vikings here. Like Kirk Cousins coming back, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. Offense is looking good. Defensive side of the ball, I could see them going with a defensive tackle, just like the sharp offensive line. So I'll go with Jordan Davis right here. Talked about him last pick when the Commanders were on the board. 13, Houston Texans again. They need a lot of things. I think what they should do, trade out of this pick, honestly. I honestly think they should trade out of this pick, get more capital because of I go Charles Cross. I don't know what I was saying. Charles Cross, help Malik Willis out with an offensive lineman who third ranked offensive lineman in the draft class. I think he is. I think that's pretty. So number 14, let's go Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU. It's never bad to have enough cornerbacks. The Ravens got Marlon Humphrey, paired Derek. Well, Derek Stingley, he can play safety and corner, I think, but more at cornerback. Pair him alongside Marlon Humphrey. Might got something there. 15, the Eagles. I'm gonna go Jamison Williams, pair with Devontae Smith. Jamison Williams obviously coming off the ACL tear, but he's also supposed to be a really good, like a speedster receiver. So pair him with Devontae Smith, who was the best receiver in college at Alabama a couple years ago, rookie last year. Pair him with, going to the Alabama trio. Jamison Williams from Alabama, Devontae Smith from Alabama. Jalen Hurts started at Alabama and then transferred to OU, so that would be crazy. But yeah, that's the top 15 picks in the NFL draft. Don't really have much more to talk about today, so I will see you guys next week on Saturday, and have a good day. Make sure to follow, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Don't be a lame.